Daenerys was always the conqueror, and she had to be the conqueror using fire and blood to get what she wants. She was able to take many cities in Essos. She killed many slavers to rescue the slaves. She fought and earned the respect of the Unsullied, and she burned the Dosh Khaleen to gain the support of the Dothraki. And then after that, she journeyed to Westeros with the same mission. As a foreign invader, she was going to capture the Seven Kingdoms and sit herself on the throne because it is her birthright, as the last remaining child of the Mad King. But the problem is that Daenerys being a conqueror is not needed in the new world she wants to build. It's only needed in attaining this new world. Daenerys wants to break the wheel, and that wheel is the rich crushing the poor. All the rich, wealthy family houses relying on the poor to keep them afloat. She also wants to remove tyrants from the world. But in order for Daenerys to achieve this, she needs to rely on the very same wheel to push her Targaryen claim to the Iron Throne. And on top of that, she needs to become a tyrant in order to eliminate the tyrants of the world. So now Daenerys is seen as a foreign invader, who is pushing her claim as a stuck-up Targaryen. And the people are seeing this. Varys has realized that there's a better person with a better claim to the throne, who is not as impulsive and not as rash in their decision-making. And that will slowly take away Daenerys' support. And then there's Cersei. And Cersei has a mission to take away everything Daenerys represents and everything she stood for. Poetic justice to Cersei is to completely destroy Daenerys' image. And which one kills Daenerys is up for debate. It could be Cersei. Cersei would want nothing more. But it also could be Daenerys' own people. If Daenerys were to become a tyrant like her father. And that is Daenerys' fate. And it first starts with Cersei, whose key role is to destroy Daenerys' legacy and what she stood for. Cersei always hated Daenerys because of the world that she wanted to build. She hates that her brother Tyrion now supports her. She hates that Jaime left to join her cause to fight the dead. And she hates that Sansa sits in the north as an ally to Daenerys. But Cersei's hate for Daenerys started long ago, when she was just a kid and she found out what future was in store for her.
You'll be queen. For a time. Then comes another. Younger. More beautiful. To cast you down and take all you hold dear.
Cersei's primarily driven by paranoia. She always went to great lengths to protect her children. She would even burn cities to the ground to protect them.
I will burn their cities to the ground if they touch her!
And this new queen that would take everything she held dear, Cersei applied that to many different candidates. At first she thought it was Sansa, and then she thought it was Marjorie. But now Cersei's completely engulfed in the fact that this new queen that will cast her aside is Daenerys. And that's a part of Cersei's drive, to take away everything Daenerys stood for and cast her down as the rightful queen to the Seven Kingdoms. At this point, Cersei doesn't have any children. She doesn't have much to live for anymore, other than to ensure that her enemies and the people that she despises don't sit on the throne that she fought hard to earn. And Cersei knows she has no other choice. She will never surrender, and it's something she said long ago.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, or you die. There is no middle ground.
Cersei will cause as much damage as she can and fight into the end, because if she surrenders, she will die. Because when you play the Game of Thrones, you only win or you die. There is no middle ground. And we've seen Cersei fight hard and defeat Daenerys across any battlefield. She successfully eliminated the Sand Snakes. She attacked Highgarden. She let her enemies fight the White Walkers, and with great success, Daenerys lost many of her Dothraki and Unsullied, and she also lost a dragon. And now she attacked Dragonstone. She ended up killing Rhaegal. She crippled Daenerys' fleet, and now she executed Missandei. And in that time, she could have killed Tyrion. She could have killed Daenerys, and she could have killed Drogon, but she didn't. And I think it's much more than Cersei behaving civil. That's not really who she is. But I believe her decision to spare Daenerys, Tyrion, and everyone else is simply poetic justice.
She has a keen sense of poetic justice.
If it's a Dragon Queen she's after.
She has other plans for the Targaryen girl.
And we've seen Cersei use poetic justice before. When she captured the Sand Snakes, she killed them the exact same way that they killed her daughter Marcella. She gave Bronn a crossbow and told him to go kill Jaime and Tyrion if they survived the Battle of the Dead. Just like how Tyrion killed her father Tywin. And we've learned that Cersei has very special plans for Daenerys, and I'm sure it's grounded in that poetic justice that she has for her other enemies. And I think Cersei's plan for Daenerys is simple. She knows what Daenerys represents and how it's different than what she does. She knows that Daenerys is trying to build a better world, but Cersei believes it's just a facade to hide who she truly is, a dragon, and she uses fire and blood and she conquers what is hers. And it makes Cersei angry that she's a foreign invader, and she came to lands that aren't even hers, pushing her will onto others. So I believe Cersei wants to destroy everything Daenerys stands for, everything that she represents, and bringing Daenerys down to Cersei's level. Not only does Cersei want to kill Daenerys, she wants to kill her reputation, kill what she stands for, and make her remembered horribly through history, as the Mad Queen, just like her father. And the reason why she feels this way is because she knows her enemy. From whispers, she knows that Daenerys acted rashly in Essos and hung slaves on spikes, in reaction to how the slavers put the slaves on spikes. And she knows who Daenerys truly is because of her brother Tyrion, who yet again slipped up, giving up too much information about his queen.
I am the one preventing that from happening. Daenerys didn't want to debate and negotiate. She didn't want to bring you words. She wanted to bring you fire and blood until I advised her otherwise. Because I think she will make the world a better place.
You said she'd destroy King's Landing.
She knows herself. She chose an advisor who would check her worst impulses instead of feeding them. That's the difference between you.
She knows that Daenerys keeps a council to make sure the worst of her doesn't come out. And Cersei's poetic justice is to just ensure that the worst part of Daenerys comes out. And that's the strategy that she's been implementing. Never doing the honorable thing. Fooling Daenerys at every turn. And taking what she holds dear to separate herself from her council and make her do something rash. Because Daenerys a lot of the time acts based on emotion. Cersei ended up attacking Highgarden when Daenerys attacked Casterly Rock. She also eliminated the Sand Snakes. This pushed a divide between her brother Tyrion and Daenerys. She did that again when she swore to her brother that she would come fight alongside Daenerys, and she never did. At this point, Cersei has successfully pushed Daenerys' trust away from Tyrion, and she's used her little brother to do that. And now Daenerys doesn't have her council keeping her in check. And then the next aspect of poetic justice was pushed, when Cersei wants to push Daenerys to the brink of her emotions. She killed one of her children, Rhaegal. She crippled her fleet and then she captured Missandei. Cersei knew that executing Missandei would push Daenerys over the edge. And she could have killed many other people. She could have killed Tyrion there. She could have killed Daenerys, but she didn't. And that's because she wants Daenerys to become that Mad Queen, and to destroy herself and her image, and she wants her brother Tyrion to watch. And now that Cersei's been successful in distancing Daenerys from her council, and finally putting her in that emotional state to become the dragon and become the conqueror, Cersei set everything up for her. She has her Lannister force, she has the Golden Company. And that's enough men that now rival what Daenerys has with the Unsullied and Dothraki. She has Scorpion Ballistas stationed all over King's Landing, because she knows that Daenerys is going to arrive on the back of her dragon. She's wanted to do it before. But most importantly, she has civilians. And that's why she's bringing them into the Red Keep. She never liked the people of King's Landing. And now since Daenerys is going to turn into that dragon, she wants Daenerys to kill as many people as possible to make her look like the true enemy. And another thing Cersei has in her back pocket is wildfire. Whether she'll use it, I'm not sure. But after Daenerys has committed genocide on King's Landing, she could finally end her through wildfire, the way the Mad King wanted to end all of King's Landing. And that would completely summarize the poetic justice Cersei wants for Daenerys. She wants to destroy Tyrion's relationship with Daenerys, and she wants Tyrion alive to see his failure as Hand of the Queen. And she wants to push Daenerys to be what she's capable of and burn King's Landing to the ground, and burn them all, just like what her father wanted. And then at this point, when Daenerys has tarnished her image, she can either be killed by Cersei, or she can be killed by her own people. Maybe Arya will kill her, since a queen is on her list. Maybe Arya will realize that Daenerys is the queen that she should kill. Maybe it's Jon. Or maybe it's any of the people that she thinks follows her. But that feeds into the other aspect of Daenerys' fate. Much like how Cersei wants to destroy Daenerys and her legacy, the Targaryen politics under Daenerys' nose will ensure she never has power in the first place. And this has been in development for a while. Daenerys has done a lot of great things, but she's always had to check her worst impulses. Her impulse when rescuing the slaves was to crucify the masters, doing exactly as the masters did to the slaves. She wasn't a leader here and she didn't bring people together. She operated on impulse. But then she was counseled to wed a slaver to make peace, and she did that. And then when the slaves rebelled, she wanted to burn their cities to the ground. and Tyrion counsels her not to.
Do we have a plan?
I will crucify the masters. I will set their fleets afire, kill every last one of their soldiers, and return their cities to the dirt. That is my plan. You don't approve.
You once told me you knew what your father was.
She wanted to burn the Red Keep to the ground, and then Jon counseled her.
The people who follow you know that you made something impossible happen. Maybe that helps them believe that you can make other impossible things happen. Build a world that's different from the shit one they've always known. But if you use them to melt castles and burn cities, you're not different. You're just more of the same.
But now she's at a point where she's accepted the role to be a tyrant to rid the world of tyrants, even though she was counseled by Tyrion and Varys not to burn King's Landing to the ground. So Tyrion and Varys counseled her to go speak to Cersei for one last time to make peace. But then Cersei gave her one final push. Up to this point, Daenerys was seen as the best candidate, but now there is a new Targaryen who balances out Daenerys' worst impulses. This person never used their name to claim power. They were a bastard. And this person never fought to get power. Everything they ever done was power that they earned, and that people elected because they believed in him. He was chosen to be Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He was elected to be king in the North. He never wanted it. The power was just given to him. And he's a character that never needed counsel to check his worst impulses. He actually went against counsel to do what he thought was right, like bringing wildlings south of the Wall. And now Jon has even counseled Daenerys to check her own worst impulses. And Varys has seen this. And now Varys has decided that Jon is the rightful king to the Seven Kingdoms, because he represents everything Varys wants in a leader.
What is it you want exactly?
Peace. Prosperity. A land where the powerful do not prey on the powerless. And perhaps we've grown so used to horror, we assume there's no other way. The Seven Kingdoms need someone stronger than Tommen, but gentler than Stannis. A monarch who can intimidate the High Lords and inspire the people. A ruler loved by millions with a powerful army and the right family name.
Tell me something, Varys. Who do you truly serve?
The realm, my lord. Someone must.
Varys has seen why Jon is a better leader. And I find it funny how what's best for the realm is putting Ned's adopted son on the throne. And because of Varys, I believe now people will flock to Jon Snow's cause, while Daenerys burns King's Landing to the ground, destroying everything she stands for. Varys mentioned that there's new leadership in Dorne, and other houses in Westeros are flocking to Daenerys' cause. But the Master of Whispers could spread the secret of Jon Snow, and gain support in his name rather than Daenerys's. It is also possible that Varys could gain the support of the Golden Company, a group of exiled Targaryens, and they could support their new true king, Aegon Targaryen, and in his name, he would pardon them and allow them to settle on lands in Westeros, much like what Jon has already done for the wildlings. And we know that there's already a big aspect of betrayal that has already been foreshadowed on who will sit the throne. We know Varys will die for his actions because Melisandre told him. But Melisandre also had things to say about who will sit the Iron Throne.
I have seen myself walk along the battlements of Winterfell. I have seen the flayed man banners lowered to the ground. But sometimes sacrifices must be made to ensure victory.
This war has just begun. It will last for years. Thousands will die at your command. You will betray the man serving you. You will betray your family. You will betray everything you once held dear. And it will all be worth it. Because you are the son of fire. You are the warrior of light. You will sweep aside this pretender and that one. You will be king.
The person who sits the Iron Throne will betray everything they held dear and who they love. And in a way, we've already seen Jon do that. Because Jon wanted to do the honorable thing and tell his sisters about his real name, that resulted in an uprising that's going to unseat Daenerys for the throne. And I think it will inadvertently push Jon to be king of the Seven Kingdoms. A betrayal that Jon didn't want to happen. But the information is so strong that it will leave Daenerys with no support, and Jon will find himself being king of the Seven Kingdoms. And with that, we'll see the sad end to Daenerys. Bran has seen a dragon fly over King's Landing, and it will. And Daenerys has walked along the destruction of the Red Keep, and she finds that the throne is just out of her grasp, and that a Snow sits upon it. But then after that, she hears the echoes of her children, her dragons. And then she leaves to go and see her family again, Khal Drogo and Rhaego, and I'm sure she'll see her other dragons too. And while Daenerys is dead, the people will pick up and build the world that she fought to build. They will break the wheel, and the Seven Kingdoms will prosper once again.